split. Days. Plan for this is just to try and finish the race, because it's going to be absolute carnage. 4.5k strength of field, easily my highest ever, 22 degrees, extensive usage, so a bit slippier. Right, I'm going to be limited chatting in this, this race,
laps of fuel left.
to the point where I'm probably not going to chat at all.
Your exit is clear, watch the white line.
It's on Race Spot TV, so if you go on YouTube and type in Race Spot, R-A-C-E-S-P-O-T, Race Spot TV, F3, it'll be on there. I mean, feel free to go and watch it there. It's commentated.
The track temperature's decreasing. It's now 22 Celsius.
You got a slow car on the left.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
You got about 5
Your
laps
exit's
of
clear.
fuel left.
Don't cross the white line. Okay, Matt, we've got 2 laps to get the job done. Mate, thanks.
Green, green, green. Okay, here comes your first time lap. You have about 2 laps of fuel left. lap.
Okay, it's a bank cover. That doesn't mean anything in this split. That'll put me down the back anyway.
P7. That last lap was
You
at
have about 1 lap
152
of fuel
and
left.
16. That's a new fastest lap for Hyman, 150.34. The guy ahead has just done a 152.03. New fastest lap for Benitez,
Alright, there's the ticket flag.
150.16.
12. I mean, it's not actually a bad lap for me, that, but P14, here we go. Backwards, backwards, backwards. Look at that. David T. Holland, he's an absolute legend, this guy. Oh, yes, car 4. That must be his first lap. He's going to go ahead of me. Honestly, all I want to do here is drive around at the back. Car 17, starting 17th. Well, if I keep it clean, possibly get some iRacing out of it. Should we change the setup? P18, look at that. I mean, that's just... Yeah.
That's the end of the session. P19.
That is the pro standard, Alan. That is the pro standard. Basically a second off it. Well, more. Well, okay, the midpoint sort of second off it, but the top guy's like second and a half. But every one of these guys at the front is an absolute, like this guy's, Rod Clinard's won championships in F3 and he's 13th. Yeah, have a good lap from Simon. I mean, I'm literally one of the also rans here. You'll have to let me know if I get mentioned in commentary. I suspect I will if I crash, and that'll be it. Cheers, man. They'll at least be saying my name when they call out the grid. P19, Greenhall. Just glad I made the cut, to be honest with you. Definitely got the right set.
Green, green, green!
Yeah, okay, we're going to go without that. Thanks very much. Oh, he's behind me. Oh, there's going to be carnage. Let's go.
The track temp is 22 Celsius, P19. Okay, Matt, get ready.
Green, green, green. Car right. Keep to the left. Clear, right side. Still there. Clear. Car right. Clear on the right. Car on your left. Clear on the left.
Yellow flag.
Sit.
Right side. Still there, hold your line. Still there, hold your line. Clear on the right. Right side. Clear on the right. You got it. Slow car on the right. Car stop on the right.
Yellow flag. Keep your wits about you, mate.
Go left. Car right. Still there. Keep to the left.
Gonna lose that place as well.
Clear.
The leader has just done a 151.40.
Army just wants to keep it clean, but I'm gonna finish quite low down the order if I do that.
That was a 154.68.
something different here. Just feel like it's going to be a massive run.
Left side. Still there, hold your line.
That's a new
You got a
fastest
slow
lap
car
for
on the left.
Hyman,
Go right.
150.
Clear on the left.
182.
Left side. Stay on the right. Stay on the right.
Boxed in.
Still there, hold your line.
17.
Clear on the left.
Best lap in the session. Fastest lap for Hyman, 150.78. Alright Matt, stay close, wait for him to make a mistake. Yellow flag, caution.
Stop on the
That
right.
lap time was
Go left.
152.87. Good lap, that's your quickest so far. You're a second off the pace in Sector 1. Come on, find the gap. Okay Matt, there's a car exiting the pits, heads up.
Didn't do me no favours.
Great job. 10 to go.
V16, that's your quickest lap in this session. Stay between the lines, please, Matt.
Car right. Keep to the left.
Pulling away from the guy behind.
Clear.
The gap's now 2.2. New fastest lap for Hyman, 150.48. Yellow flag, watch
Car
out.
stop on the left. Go right.
E14. Defend your position, don't let him through. You're gaining on this guy, the gap's now 0.44.
Car on your left.
Oh, why are you
Clear.
going into the back of me? Oh. I mean, I lost it, but come on, mate. You don't need to do that.
I expected you to run right, but you didn't.
Yeah, no worries. I was trying to fight it and hold it.
Seventeenth place.
Don't
Qualifying pace
think-
now. Come on, you can salvage something here.
I don't think the car is too damaged. Oh no, it's not, mate. That felt weird. Maybe it's me. No, it's still pretty quick. It's a shame because I felt like that would be quite a good little battle with the guy in front. I felt like I was catching him.
The gap in front is now 5.9.
I wonder if he's got nose damage as a result of that. Let's see what his lap times are.
That's a new fastest lap for Benitez, 150.20.
Still quite a long way to go, and there's a lot of cars in front, so
Alright,
Mark
Matt,
was
we're at the
quick
halfway
like that.
point. We estimate 7 laps of fuel remaining. That's your quickest lap.
let's go for broke, I reckon.
The stewards have warned us for cutting the track. Keep it between the white lines.
Now catch it, Mark. Daniel. Literally last of the cars that are still
Okay,
running.
Matt. Gaining on this car. The gap is
Kind of still
3.7 seconds. The leader's just done a 150.29.
Five to go.
P17.
You have about 5 laps of fuel left.
Gaining on this car. The gap is 2.2.
Come on. Come on.
You've got about 4 laps of fuel left. Come on, Matt. Push, push, push. We can get this guy.
Is that for position? Wasn't it? Woohoo!
Yeah, thanks for the space there.
Doing changing out to first gear there. Right, still got 3 laps.
The gap ahead is now 1.6 seconds.
Can't get anybody in front. Guy behind's probably okay. I just need to get this guy down the straight and not do anything stupid.
P16, you've got about 3 laps of fuel left.
Two more, let's go.
Right, running down the next start, finish straight. Maybe not actually. Not sure I'm close enough. Get him out of spoon next time, I think.
Good consistency, keep them coming. 2 laps left, only 2 laps of fuel left. That lap was at 151.52.
Car right. Clear.
Come on, Matt.
You've got
Nicely
about
done.
2 laps of fuel left.
You knew there was no point defending that really. He's going to try and sit in the toe.
White flag, white flag.
Fastest lap for Benitez, 150.19. Hold your nerve, just keep it smooth, no mistakes.
Most break even iRacing.
P15, 1 more lap to go. We think you'll be out of fuel on the next lap. You've just done a 151.56. lines increased to 0.9.
You have about 1 lap of fuel left.
New fastest lap for Hyman, 150.17. 2 litres remaining.
That's not bad if that's where I finish, and it's just about break even iRacing. After what happened at the standard in that race, just a great.
Sorry about that, Matthew.
No problem, mate. If I hadn't lost it, you wouldn't have hit me, so it's only because I lost it.
Alright,
place.
there's the checker
There's
flag.
the checker flag.
Better schedule some testing, we'll get them next time.
Well, they'd be saving that one just for basis it was broadcast. Right. Go and have a look at the start. Ah. Just didn't want to get knocked out of it on that one. Just for a minute, and then I might watch the start of the YouTube stream, see what it looked like. Go back and have a look at the incident as well, actually, maybe. That's probably worthwhile having a look at that now. Not sure I blame the guy that much. Ode. Let's have a look. pretty sure I was quicker than these two guys. Well, I don't know. Mark about the same pace, maybe. Actually, no. Did that guy finish? Actually, finished ahead of me, didn't I? So look at his lap times. He's slower than me. This guy's slower than me. I did 151 lap. I was so tentative at the start. I could have finished 14th. It's Josh McCall. What's he doing? No, he's pretty quick. Actually, no, I only had it off. Just go and look at this then, shall we? It's just not his fault. So let's go. Not his fault. Not his fault. He didn't have damage though, did he? He was just slow. And a gentleman. Go and watch this in let's go and see what we've got in result and then on YouTube as well. Basis that's the first one of those I've ever made. Four strength of field 4.6k, highest I've ever raced in. Car 17, started 19th, finished 15th. Lost 2 iRating. I lost 0.03 on a safety rate. I mean, I still got 89 championship points for it. 4 incidents. I mean, pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. I had no right to be. No, possibly could have beaten that guy, but literally nobody else. Let's have a look at the YouTube.
from iRacing's virtual Suzuka. Welcome, sim racing fans, to the Next Level Racing official F3 Championship live on RaceSpot TV and iRacing Live. Happy that you're all able to join us on this beautiful Friday afternoon, wherever you're tuning in around the world. I'm your host, Joshua Lee. Alongside me in the commentary booth is George Morgan with Hugo Louise down in the virtual production trailer. And George, we come to one of the most famous Formula One circuits on the calendar this season and of the Formula One season. Suzuka is unique, it is special, and we're going to see these F3 drivers go racing today.
Oh, Joshua, this is one of my personal favorites, and great to be with you, by the way, for another Friday night of action. Cannot wait for this one. 5.807 kilometers the distance, 3.609 miles, 18 corners at this incredible track, a roller coaster of a circuit. We've seen it in Formula One time and time and again. I can't wait.
And we get a great look from atop of the Suzuka International Raceway. What a great circuit this is. Up and over itself, almost a figure eight, sort of to speak. They go under the bridge, they go right back up over 130R and back underneath the racetrack and back to the front straightaway. Expecting some exciting racing for 15 laps here this afternoon. And taking a look at the championship of the schedule, we got a Hockenheim ring in 1 week's time, Canadian Tire, Laguna Seca, Donington, Spa, Zandvoort, Sebring, Red Bull Ring, and Hungaroring to finish out the calendar. But tonight we are here in Suzuka, coming off the heels of a bit of a carnage-filled race at Snetterton, George, but expecting a lot of great racing at Suzuka, like we also saw at Snetterton. We saw some good battles there as well.
Yeah, we did. I think it was just a case that the drivers didn't quite know, I think, where to put the car. I think a lot of it. Snetterton not really famed for its single-seater racing so much. Certainly, I think where it comes to sim racing, certainly the F3 Championship, it's not a go-to for a lot of the people, but at the same time, a great track. But we're here this time at Suzuka to have these cars at a legendary circuit such as this. You can perfectly imagine that they're going to go full pedal to the metal for this one. I'm looking forward to seeing how they deal with the early sector, that very twisting section, heading up through the realms of turns 3, 4, 5, and 6. Of course, don't forget, turn 1 and 2 is very challenging as well. You're just going to progress the car, feather the throttle on your way up. But what about that hairpin bend, that crucial hairpin bend at turn 11, where a lot of them can make a mistake, either lock up the brakes, you really need to try and hang in tight to that corner, and then you make that mighty rise through 200R, round spoon curve, the backstretch, and then the famed 130R before hitting that chicane. And I'd imagine that's where we'll see a lot of the overtakes happen.
And we're about to let them loose for 15 laps. Let's take a look at your starting grid. Ralph Benitez on the pole with Raul Hyman to his outside. Hyman, in the last season of this championship, won the race at Suzuka. Watch for him to be fast. Alessandro Ditullio currently sits on a 2-race win streak. Can he keep it up here in Japan with Flavio Dantas and Colin Chin rounding out your top 5? Back from there, Paulo Dreta starts in P6. Connor Bell and Jose Copland on that fourth row with Adrian Falcon, Ted Bradbury on that top 10. Josh McCall, Connor Wagner rounding out the top 12. Rod Clinard, Thiago Spencer rounding out your top 14 with David Holland rounding out your top 15. Simon Fessy, David Porcelli, Leonard Sherry, and back from there, Matthew Greenhall with Daniel Lamba rounding out your top 20. Mark Van Dalen, Alex Lado rounding out the full 22 car grid, and every single driver taking a time in qualifying. Nobody will be starting from the back on a provisional. Everybody put in a time to get onto the grid. Saw some exciting action so far this season at Watkins Glen and Snetterton. Last season, if you tuned into RaceSpot TV for the official F3 Championship, saw some amazing racing when it came to Suzuka as well. And we are getting ready for an intense one here from virtual Japan. Ralph Benitez is going to lead the field down into turn number 1. Will we see carnage as all 22 drivers will get slowed down for the first turn at Suzuka? And will we see anybody be able to get through the S curves as well? It's a quick run down to turn 7, and the green flag is out. We are underway here from virtual Suzuka. Great start for Raul J. Hyman. He's already gonna get a jump on off the
like a red
Benitez.
at the
Can he
back.
clear him in one? Yes,
Won't
he
have my
can.
livery.
Put Hyman to the point, already going through one. Dantas, Ditullio side by side for P3 right now, as Ditullio falls to fourth for a moment. Here he comes back into P3. They get single filed out the first couple of spots, still side by side a little bit further on back.
Oh, what a start indeed. Incredible from Raul Hyman, winning it last year, and already Jose Kaplan going around the outside now, as well as they make their way around the next left-hander, heading around the next bend, and certainly you can see them hightailing now through the next left. They got the Degners that are coming up next, the double right-handers. You can fly through so quickly, but what a start from Raul Hyman. He won it last year, and he's glad to be back again, certainly, Joshua.
On board with Raul Hyman, and that Wave Italy machine is getting out to a considerable lead over Ralph Benitez. It is multiple tenths now, separating these front two, and as they race through the middle portion of Suzuka for the first time, they'll go into Spoon Curve right here. Let's see what is going to happen, if anybody can make a move. You're on board with Colin Shin, trying to get a move made on Paulo Dreza for P5. Can't do it. Single filed out the majority of this field now. No side-by-side action, but everybody keeping everyone reeled in. Nobody is in the clear just yet. Majority of the gaps through this field are within 3/10 of each other as they get very close. Chin almost making contact with Dreza. Dreza gets a little bit loose. Chin goes to the inside and he spins it. Chin goes around, a huge mistake coming into the Casio triangle, and Chin gets himself turned around. Connor Wagner is also turned around through 130R, carrying a cone, forgets it off the side of the racetrack, but Colin Chin self-spin down into 13th.
Yeah, I get the feeling he got lost in the moment, and that really did haunt him, certainly heading into the Casio triangle, and he's backing out. There's something not quite right with him right now. He's making his way through. Oh, he's collided again. Oh, dearie me, carnage into turn one around first corner. An absolutely brutal blow as we now rejoin the front end now, and you can see them coming through the next right-hander yet again, still wheel to wheel between car number 3, that's Ralph Benitez, making his way through on the inside now as they make their way around. And next to him going is Flavio Dantas as well, but it is going to be Ralph Benitez who leads him round in P3, round to the Degners now for a second time. But how about that massive blow there around turn 1?
Keeping second place now is Ditullio as Benitez goes to third. Dantas back from there. Look at Connor Bell, still very close in this fight. Make it 6 cars, still very close right here in this fight. Here's a replay. There's the self-spin from Colin Shin. Just got on the brakes a little bit too hard. That's one of the natures of these F3 cars. If you get on the brakes just a little bit too hard, either lock them up or get wheel hop, you're going to be getting sent into the corner. Exactly what happened with Colin Shin. Luckily, no contact with anybody else, and then going into turn number 1, some quick contact off the front wing as Ted Bradbury gets turned around. The number 15 machine falling down the order. Looks like he got turned around coming off of Spoon Curve. Another self-spin. No, he got up onto the curbing and got spun around. That's another nature of this track that we need to talk about, George. Those curbs can be brutal, especially that one to the inside of Spoon. Hikes that car up way too much. You can get it off the racing surface and very loose very quickly.
Yeah, you certainly can. You do not want to roll over them. They're quite raised. You can easily catch them and lose traction, and that's exactly what happens here. Certainly it goes wrong with the Casio triangle. Tiago Spencer now down the inside now of car number 16, and of course being Daniel Lombard as well. And in the middle of 3-wide affair and around turn 1, and a car going wide. I'm not quite sure who that was, just creeping through the inside now. Again, go wheel to wheel through the first sector, and that's car number 13, that being Leonardo O'Cherry there, making his way through with David Pacelli in behind, who's battling out for P13. Simon Fessy as well in behind with Daniel Loba, chasing them 2 around the first sector, but it's going to be Cherry there in P13. He's managed to launch himself up through the standings. What a rise in that first sector, that roller coaster section, so attractive to watch.
Still on board with the 18 as he works his way through turn 9. Under the bridge they go. Here comes the hairpin. What can Fessy do to get up to Porcelli and try and make that move? Can't do anything. Is going to stay in that 13th spot for the moment, or sorry, 15th spot for the moment as he chases down Cherry and Porcelli in front of him. everybody now single file. We aren't seeing any side-by-side, and as I say that, an issue for Cherry's gonna put him down the running order. Here comes Fessy looking to the outside. A mistake there from Cherry. It looked like just got incredibly loose coming through the fast corner there. Going down into Spoon, immediately slowed up to try and save it. Lost a ton of spots. Now is down into P14. Fessy and Lamba now behind him. We're seeing a lot of single file action. Here's some side-by-side, but most notably, George, everybody is within just a couple of tenths of each other. The biggest gap on the racetrack is we have a huge pile-up. Fessy makes contact with Lamba, with Cherry. A huge pile-up at the Casio Triangle. Numerous cars involved in this one, and that is disaster for one of the best battles on the racetrack. One driver just missing the braking zone gets sent into the other two drivers that look to be Daniel Lamba missing the braking zone, and 3 cars trash heap down at Casio Triangle.
Yeah, just again, very similar to Kalen Chin's incident from earlier on, just seemed to miss the braking point, and that's naturally going to send you into obscurity, taking out 2 cars as well. All of them came together, and we're just going to watch this now happen again. This is the replay. Oh, dearie me. Yeah, right through the middle, and both cars, all 3 of them got affected, all 3 of them spinning out of the Casio Triangle chicane as they now make their way around the next right-hander up towards the hairpin bend. Now there is car number 8. Of course, Ralph Benitez currently up into P2. You've got Alessandro Ditullio as well in behind. Flavio Dantas still up and about as well with Raul Hyman, who is streaking away 2.5 seconds. He is leading right now, but there is Ditullio, of course, 2-time race winner in this championship. Of course, winning the very first race at Watkins Glen. He went to Snetterton and did it again as well. And certainly Delta Sport are going to be looking, certainly trying to call on their man for yet another positive result here again today. Dantas in behind Tullio there as well. Bell's in P5. Drater in P6. Adrian Falcon in P7. David Holland there in P8 as well, with Kaplan in P9. But Raul Hyman streaking away. Already though, the 5-10 Delta gap is pretty brought down by Benitez. It just stayed at 2 seconds for that moment in time. Could Ralph Benitez be on his rear very soon?
And remember, for every one of those Ditullio wins at the beginning of this season, Watkins Glen and Snetterton, it was David Holland, his teammate at Delta Sport, that finished right behind him in 2nd place. Holland currently runs from P8. Can he make his way up through the running order to get up here and fight for this lead? Ditullio needs to try and fight for the lead as well. He falls to Flavio Dantas as Ditullio goes to P4. Bell in 5th. Drates at the end of this draft line here that it really stretches from 2nd place Benitez all the way down. Here's the pass Flavio Dantas making on the 3 of Alessandro Ditullio. Gets down to the inside in turn number 1. That was all she wrote, George. Once you get that inside line, very difficult to fight on the outside, especially going through such a fast corner of turn number 1 like we have here at Suzuka.
Yeah, absolutely. So hard, so treacherous as well. Any 2 wide situations, you're going to be in peril as we now see them taking a hairpin bend. Another dangerous spot we just saw there as they make their way out now, and indeed, by the looks of it, as we now look on the rear, this is the Delta Sport car yet again, just making their way around the 200R and ahead as they make their way up towards the next left. It's getting so tight. Delta Sport cars now colliding through here. Car number 3, of course, that being Alessandro Ditullio, 2-time race winner this season, mixing it up with Connor Bell as they make their way around the next left-hander. Connor Bell trying to hang on here as they go in tandem. Still Ditullio holding on, but getting a slipstream here, potentially Paolo Drater down the inside as well, but still Ditullio now is in jeopardy again. Another potential 3-wide affair. Delta Sport looking on in concern, as you can see there, Connor Bell in the slipstream. He won't go for a move in the Casio Triangle, but a very harem-scaring moment as they rope their way through 200R out of Spoon, down through the 130. But that is what Japan can do for you, Joshua.
Kept it safe through the Casio Triangle, exactly what they needed to do. But take a look at the defense. Ditullio wants that inside line going into turn number 1. He goes all the way down to the pit wall, side by side, through the first corner at Suzuka. Ditullio inside, Bell outside, cannot get the pass made, but Bell's not done. He's gonna get it heading into the chicane, and up into P4 goes Connor Bell. Ditullio falls to 5th. Now what can Paulo Dreta add to this mix? Can he get by Ditullio for a top 5? This is a bit of struggling for Delta Sport here at Suzuka. We were wondering when it would happen. Looks like it's happening now, as Delta Sport now is running in P5 and P8 as opposed to the P1 and P2 that we saw at Watkins Glen and Snetterton from that team so far this season.
Yeah, absolutely. As we now watch the helicopter cam, watching these cars now cruise out of the hairpin bender. Turn 11, turn 12 is next. Incredible action here at Connor Bell. How about that? Take a bow already now sprinting clear of Alessandro Ditullio, who is now down in P5. Paulo Dreta there in P6 as well, just watching on as the two cars ahead of him come around Spoon Curve. Incredible view here. Adrian Falcon in behind as well, taking the Spoon Curve with David Holland in behind as well. But take a look at this once again. Alessandro Ditullio hurting a little bit after that blow there from Connor Bell after he made the move, and you can see him just clocking the slipstream there, just finding that rear wing. Can he make a move now as they make their way into the Casio Triangle chicane? Incoming now Alessandro Ditullio, and he's going to try and hang on the rear. Connor Bell slightly untidy heading into the chicane now. Big opportunity for Alessandro Ditullio as they make their way down the stretch now here in lap 7 of 15. You can see the Delta Sport car now right in the rear here. Connor Bell doing everything he can to keep Alessandro Ditullio right behind him, but it's not enough heading into turn 1. Alessandro Ditullio, the switchback though from Connor Bell. Exquisite battling between the pair, but Ditullio leads him. He heads into P4.
What a run right now for Alessandro Ditullio. Lost the spot to Connor Bell, went back into P5, and then gets right back up into P4 one lap later. Ditullio not happy with how he's running right now. Looks like he wants to continue to march his way up closer to the lead, but he's got 7 seconds to Raul Hyman that he's going to have to beat. We had a spin at the back. Rod Clinard got involved in this one out of the Casio Triangle. Let's take a look at the replay. Another self-spin. No contact made. Looked like he might have gotten a little bit too much up on that curbing. Lost the car on the exit and then went around right there. Self-spin puts him down into P16. Luckily, no damage to his F3 car or anybody else's car in the field. This time by, Raul Hyman will put us past halfway, and it'll put us to 8 laps to go here from Virtual Suzuka. Time pretty quickly running out. Only 15 laps that we are racing here as opposed to the normal 20 that we're used to seeing here in the Next Level Racing official F3 Championship. As take a look at the shades of the Indy 500. Ditullio trying to break the draft of Connor Bell behind. Bell's going to make a look to the inside of the Casio Triangle. How close are they going to get? Bell's going to clear him before the apex, but Ditullio has to get out of the gas, onto the brakes, through the middle portion of that corner. That's turn 16 of the Casio Triangle. Loses a bit of momentum and right back into 5th place. He looks to the bottom. You're looking off the hood of Paulo Dreta. Now with a harsh move to the bottom and 1 for Ditullio. Is he going to be able to get that nose in there? Yes, he can. Can he clear him off the corner? Not clear just yet. Can he clear him in the middle portion of the S's? Getting loose, getting up on the curb is Connor Bell. They're still side by side as they race through turn 5.
Yeah, Paulo Dreta now looking to try and stab in the back now. Alessandro Ditullio round the outside now as they run the next left-hander. Oh, brilliant! Brilliant there from Paulo Dreta. Caught when the man was down. He found a way through, but incredible action there between Ditullio and Connor Bell, and the audacity, the sheer audacity of Paulo Dreta to take his chance around the Dunlop curve. Sensational, Joshua.
What a move from Paulo Dreta. Now what is Alessandro Ditullio going to do? Obviously, a win is now starting to get out of the reach of that number 3 for Delta Sport. Can he at least try and make this top 5? He dives to the inside of Paulo Dreta heading into Spoon. That's going to quickly turn outside as they go through the left-hander. Take a look at who's catching up. Adrian Falcon, you're on board with that Wave Italy machine from P7. How can Falcon insert himself into this fight? They're all fighting for P5. Ditullio steps out, trying to get by Paulo Dreta. Can he clear him before they get to the apex of 130R? Indeed he can. And take take a look at Drayta, now trying to defend on Adrian Falcon, into the Casio triangle. Falcon is there, he's gonna take over P6, and Drayta in 2 corners loses 2 positions down into P7 for the 9 car.
Yes, Wave Italy are on a flyer right now. Not only Connor Bell, what has he had for breakfast, but how about Adrian Falcon as well? In the back though, Paolo Drayta licking his wounds once again. Alessandro Ditullio is now on the list of Adrian Falcon as they head around turn 1. You can see their patience is a virtue, says Adrian Falcon. He's going to sit in behind the Delta Sport car as they now rise up through the roller coaster sections of turns 5, 6 and 7 around the Dunlop curve now. Very shortly, they'll be making their way down through towards the Degners, that double stabbing right-hander after the Dunlop curve. There you can see them hightailing through Dunlop down towards, very shortly, the Degners as they do make their way through now, powering on the front, just feathering it slightly with little use of the brakes. Around that extra hander again, you can see how keen that Wave Italy car is. Adrian Falcon with a Falcon thought indeed. So much potential, so much power behind this man right now. We've seen him in the last 2 races. He's been extraordinary, but he needs to try and unleash something more here, Joshua. But I get the feeling he'll have his chance around 130R.
Double battles on the racetrack. Battle for 6th, or battle for 5th, excuse me, as we see Ditullio, Falcon, Drayta, add David Holland and the other Delta Sport car into that mix as well. Battle for 11th a little bit further back. Porcelli's in a battle with McCall, and then Leto is in a battle with Clinard, who is rebounding pretty well after his self-spin. They're battling right there past P11. So dual screen, you can see both of the battles that are currently running on the racetrack right now. These are the 2 main battles that we are watching. It's about a 1.8 second lead at the front for Raul Hyman, as there's Josh McCall getting right on by the outside of David Porcelli through 130R. Is anything going to change in the Casio triangle? It will not. The 16 and McCall going to stay in P11 as take a look at the snaking down the front straightaway. Ditullio trying to defend. Falcon to the outside, and the Wave Italy number 1 can't get there. Ditullio defends the spot in 1.
Yeah, it just goes to show how useful that inside
is it better now? Because I updated my some software and I'm hoping it's gone.
Using it to his advantage at that moment. Adrian Falcon, though, is far from done yet as they make their way through the next left-hander. They got the anti-bank curves to beckon yet as they round through the next right-hander now. Turn 6, very shortly turn 7.
Did it go roboty when I went into this race?
Full of venom. Adrian Falcon flying right now as they come around the next left now. It's very shortly they will be faced with the Degners yet again. Still
I think it's software related.
Well, holding on to that P5, he's dropping
I know
back
what's
because
causing
of
it.
this battling betwing him
you missed
and
it. I'm hoping it might be okay because I updated some software. We'll
sort of
see.
stretch his advantage over Alessandro Ditullio, and in fact, if you look at it on paper, he's trying to close the gap on Flavio Dantas, but he has got a lot of work to do before he can sincerely do that. Raul Hyman,
I finished 15th.
Still in front, and I must say, maintaining
4.5k
gap of 2 seconds. It has not moved at all
started 17th.
throughout this race. Raul Hyman really
and I
loves
started
Suzuka
19th.
here,
I was car
Joshua.
17.
Remember, Hyman won in the last season of this official F3 championship here at Suzuka.
I was just really pleased too.
Seasons that are broadcasted live here on Race
I got rear-ended though. I got punted as well. But
can he do it?
I wouldn't have finished much higher anyway. I don't think. I'm just glad I got in it.
Ralph Benitez, who currently sits in 2nd place in that number 8 machine.
When I finish streaming this, you'll be able to watch it back if you want. It's quite good the first few laps, I have to say.
Not what we expected today from Ditullio, George. I think we both are expecting another dominating day for Delta Sport, but I think today, of any days, it's looking like Delta Sport has their number made as David Porcelli gets back by Josh McCall for P11. But back to the Delta Sport topic, looks like they are beatable as take a look at the battle into 1. Stepping out goes Falcon, but it won't be enough. Ditullio comfortably keeps that spot.
He certainly does. Ditullio, I have to say, brilliant. His defending has been so stern, and not only can he be a man to lead from the front, but he can also defend where it matters most. We've seen it a few times
Still
this
really
season.
good to
He's
be
managed to
involved,
hold
though.
off the relentless
It's the first
force
time I've ever
of
actually managed to
Adrian
qualify
Falcon,
for
who is
this.
only going to be more and more frustrated as they make their way around Sector 1 into Sector 2 very, very very shortly. Around
Try
the
and do a
next
few more
left,
races later in the season
yet
as well,
again
if
in
we can.
behind Paulo Dreiter is trying to join them too, but in behind he's obviously not going to have much of a chance while these two are thrashing
Literally
about
not been
ahead of him
featured
here.
at all, though.
You see there that cars
Largely
are
to the
starting
right,
to
the
pile
back
up
of
in
the line, 'cause
behind.
it got
David
punted, but-
Holland is making an appearance as well as they make their way round
race
the
has been an
hairpin.
awesome
There
one.
you can see now that Ditullio with Falcon right in behind him here. Paulo Dreiter joining him for company as they make their way around 200R very shortly. They'll be around the spoon curve as well as they do so. Round the outside, they're going to hug the outside line, cut inwards, then right into the corner, trying to hug the inset in order to get the best access out as possible. And Alessandro Ditullio still hanging on as best he can, but I get a feeling his number might be up. You can see there in behind that Adrian Falcon is gaining. Well, certainly he is gaining a lot as well, right in the rear ring, utilising the slipstream. Very shortly as they round 130R this time, will he make a diving or audacious move into the Casio Triangle chicane? He switches to the right-hand side, late on the brakes, and wave Italy waves goodbye. He goes up into P5.
What a move from Adrian Falcon. Goes up into the top 5 spots, but we know Ditullio, he is not done. Taking him all the way to the pit wall is Falcon. Ditullio trying to find any possible way to get by. Paulo Dreita's back into this mix, side by side into one, but Falcon's gonna have too much momentum on the inside line. He will keep that spot over Ditullio for the moment, but Paulo Dreita now trying to come back. You're on board with Dreita now. What can he do? Can he get back by Ditullio? 4 laps to go here from Suzuka. The action is just starting to heat up. Falcon now in P5, Ditullio P6, Dreita P7, and David Holland still trying to catch up to this group. Not the day Delta Sport wanted or needed, and here comes Paulo Dreita looking to make a move on Ditullio. Can he do it into the hairpin?
We'll have to wait and see. He's certainly got a lovely exit out of the second deck now. Paulo Dreiter round the inside now there, Pit Ben. Chance is now or never, he says. Goes down the inside. He's going to try and hug it, trying to get a lovely bit of exit speed. He does. Brilliant from Paulo Dreiter as well. And that is another absolutely scintillating move. He literally planned it to perfection out of the second deck there, but it's not over
16th
yet.
at this point, but I managed to catch up with Dalen and got past him because he let me through, but I would have got past him anyway, but he was the guy rear-ending me, so he jumped out of the way.
And running out wide, that's cost him, and now he's at the mercy of David Holland.
On board with Holland, can he insert himself into this battle? Now, the two Delta Sport teammates are now 7th and 8th. Remember, in the last 2 weeks, they have been P1 and 2. At the end of this race, it has been a struggling day for Delta Sport, but they have an opportunity to come back. How are these teammates going to race each other? Fastest lap just set by Ralph Benitez as he tries to close in on Raul J. Hyman at the front of this field.
Everyone's doing
3
150s
laps
all
to
over the
go.
show.
And you can see the defense coming out from Paulo Dreita. Adrian Falcon has checked out. He is now 1.4 seconds ahead of Dreita. It's now a 3-way fight for 6th place between Dreita, Ditullio, and Holland at the tail end of this line. Holland has been on a steady climb back up to the front this entire day, looking to continue that as you stay on board with Holland in the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, David Holland, he has got a reputation for taking races all the way. He has a bit of a dogfight reputation about him. He can certainly grind a result, and that's exactly what he's doing. He has done it so many times before, and he's right on the rear of Alessandro Ditullio, his teammate, of course. And I have to say, at this point now, it's whatever you can get right now. Delta Sport needs a push. They've only got a matter of 2 laps remaining, and certainly Raul Hyman has surely got this in the bag right now, as long as he can maintain this pace. Benitez, though, right behind him, he is certainly flying as well. But there you can see Paulo Dreiter in P6, currently nursing that position with Alessandro Ditullio right behind him, half a second the deficit. David Holland, his teammate, 7.5 tenths back, with Thiago Spencer also coming into the fight as well. We saw all of these drivers battling at Watkins Glen. We saw them battling at Snetterton. They're battling here, but this time it's not for a podium. They're fighting it out here for respectability, certainly for rights to 4th and 5th place. We'll have to wait and see who's going to come out better off. That's going to be the story. Incredible that these guys aren't on for a win tonight, Joshua.
And we'll see if this is going to continue in the remainder of the calendar here in the Next Level Racing official F3 Championship. 2 to go as Raul Hyman now sets the new fastest lap, 150.201. And he stays at the front of the field now by some odd 2 seconds. You're on board with Ditullio, making a move on Dreta to the inside for P6, goes to 3, and it's an easy pass down into turn number 1. Great move from Ditullio, but he gets loose on the outside line, and the crossover from Paulo Dreta. What a move from the 9 to go back into 6, and what a move from David Holland. He gets by his teammate for P7.
Ultimate opportunist David Holland. You have to say he played dead, did Paulo Dreta. He played dead into turn 1. He sold it to Ditullio, sold it to him, the dummy, and he managed to get the switch back out of turn 2, scintillating from Paulo Dreta, and that sent Ditullio in all sorts of areas. It then allowed David Holland to come through and snatch it. Oh, dearie me, into the wall. Number 4, David Holland, has taken a knock on his front wing, and surely there must be damage on that car, Joshua.
Slammed into the guardrail.
Like
now look who's catching up. Thiago Spencer. Can he have an opportunity to get further up into the top 10 as David Holland sits in P8? Can't see any visual damage to that car, but we know the damage model can be a little bit fragile on these F3 cars, so we'll see if he does have any damage, and if he starts to fall down the order, looks like David Holland might have gotten just barely away with that guardrail tap, but through the Casio
just too far back to make it. There's too much going on at the front to make
will come across the start-finish line. It'll be white flag and one more lap to go. Here's a slow-mo replay. Holland gets up on the curbing, hits the ground, gets loose, and oh my, barely avoids the wall. Just takes a simple trip through the grass there, George. No damage, but definitely a little bit of a damaged ego. He'll have to be a little bit more careful on this final lap. Try not to actually slam into the guardrail.
No, it got very close. I'm impressed that he managed to keep the car at the wall. It looked to me like he was exiting the wall. Looks like he actually clipped it, but no, it was just him literally playing with the steering wheel, keeping the control on the grass, and a great replay shot there from our production team there. Hugo Lewis there in behind the scenes. Incredible stuff indeed. Getting that on shot for us. Incredible stuff indeed. Well held indeed by David Holland, but nevertheless he's still in with a chance of improving on his position. We're here with Alessandro Ditullio now, and this is the move that we saw earlier on with Paulo Dreta looked to actually play dead. It looked like Ditullio, a little play with the steering wheel as well, lost the car slightly heading round turn 2, and it opened the door for Paulo Dreta to retain a position, and then all of a sudden, who's that man? David Holland
I'm tempted to pay for coaching as well, just to close out the last second, because I'm miles off the guys at the front of this race. I managed to get into it, but I'm so far at the back of it.
When he did make that mistake, so Ditullio's back up into P7.
It's taken 2 years of F3 racing, I'd say, to get to this
saw
level.
from Ditullio in the first 2 rounds, and a lot different than the P2 that we have seen from David Holland is P8 here from Suzuka. But looking to go back to back at Suzuka when it comes to the official F3 Championship on RaceSpot TV. He won the broadcasted race 1 season ago and is looking to do it yet again here in 2021 season 4 of iRacing. It's Next Level Racing official F3 Championship, and Raul Hyman breaks the streak of Alessandro Ditullio. He takes the win from virtual Japan, and Ralph Benitez comes home in P2. Flavio Dantas P3. A great podium with 3 fantastic drivers as Benitez sets the fastest lap coming to the checker.
Yeah, superb stuff indeed. A confident, precise, brilliant race win there for Raul Hyman. He did it. He led from the front in exquisite fashion, did what he needed to do. And credit to Ralph Benitez as well. He was chasing all the way, just could not find any way possible to break that 2-second deficit. But credit to that man, he did it extremely well. And how about that battle for Ps 5, 6, and 7 as well? It was ongoing right through towards the end of that race. It was truly something special to watch, Joshua.
What a way to race from Suzuka. We know this track had so much heritage to it, always provides
in a lot of these races they tend to be carnage. At the front this was relatively clean, and the ones that are carnage I might be able to get somewhere nearer the top 10, maybe, if I'm lucky. Not on merit, but just because they're carnage. And if that happens, I might actually feature in it.
Results here for the Next Level Racing official F3 Championship on RaceSpot TV. Raul Hyman walks away with the win. Ralph Benitez in P2. Flavio Dantas P3. P3, Connor Bell P4, with Adrian Falcon rounding out your top 5. Paulo Dreta in P6, Alessandro Ditullio down into 7th place after a win in the first 2 rounds. David Holland down into P8 after a 2nd place in the first 2 rounds. Thiago Spencer and Jose Copland rounding out your top 10. David Porcelli, Rod Clinard, Josh McCall, Alex Lado, and Matthew Greenhall, your top 15. Mark Van Dalen, Daniel Lomba, Simon Fessy, Connor Wagner, and Ted Bradbury
when it
rounds
ran out
out
the grid.
your top 20. And
My
rounding
name
out your
read out
field,
when
Leonard
they
Cherry
ran out
and
that.
Colin Shin
That's it.
caught up in incidents at the beginning of this race. They finish tail end of the field. So George, Suzuka is down and away, and just what an exciting run here tonight, and we saw some great battles up and down the order
I got out of that without
drivers,
losing any iRating as well,
I think
so it's pretty good
going to be
going.
a lot like that when we go to Hockenheimring in 1 week's time. Another FIA Grade 1 circuit, another one that has been on the Formula 1 calendar in the past. You can draw a lot of similarities between Suzuka and Hockenheimring, and it's also a very challenging track to get a hold of.
It certainly is, and naturally turn 1 is always very treacherous. It's very short and snappy, so it's very easy to make a mistake. I think if you clip the curb, we've seen it a few times, certainly with some of the cars today, certainly heading around Castile Triangle, leaving it late on the brakes. I think you could be in danger of that around turn 1 at Hockenheimring, but also you've got a little bit of a snake section heading through sector 2 and 3 as well. Sector 1 a little bit more straightforward. Everything's...
Shut up. So over the top. Yeah, look, it's 4.6k strength of field, which is massive. There's only 4 splits. Like the second split will be 2.1k strength of field. Who's car 1? So he was 3k. He missed out on top split. Quicker than him, definitely. I missed him loads of times. But yeah, I mean, just the 6k, 6k, 6, 5, 7, 5.6. Everybody's an absolute gun. He did quite well. I was quicker than him. I was catching him before I got rear end punted. He's done quite well. I don't recognise that name. He might be quite new. I've never done it, so I don't know where you can do it. There's a few places. There's like Driver 61, VRS do them. Then you've got individual people who do them. Sulio Almeida does F3 tuition. So does Emil Burn stuff. I don't know how much it costs. He's done 174 races. Fair play to him. He did really well. I was definitely quicker than him though. If I hadn't got punted, I would have beaten him. Where's my VRS and Driver 61? The Driver 61 definitely aren't in bed with VRS. Well, I say they're definitely not. I know Scott Mansell. Scott Mansell, who runs Driver 61 and does all their stuff, is his dad is best mates with my dad. Would you believe? So I know a little bit about Driver 61 channel. But yeah, it ain't cheap. I mean, he does it for a living, right? Yeah, I'm probably gonna annoy you now, though. I've got VRS, and I would absolutely recommend getting it. Like, not for the tuition, not necessarily for the setups, but for the telemetry. It's the absolute bollocks. And if you actually want to analyze where you're losing time, you need really good telemetry. It doesn't have to be VRS telemetry, to be fair, but you've got to get some sort of telemetry system. For me, I had it from day one, and it made a massive difference. Because you can actually work out, like, if somebody says to you what's trail braking, to me I couldn't like I didn't get that to start with for a long period of time until I saw what I was doing with my pedals, and then you can in a graph form, and then compared it to what the pros were doing, and then when you sort of look at that and you interpret it, you do kind of get a feel for what you should be doing. It's just, I mean, VRS, it logs every single input on every single corner on every single session that you do on iRacing. So I could go back into any race I've done, any practice session, anything, and look at any stint. Like it puts every single lap next to each other in every single corner, and then it shows you like a heat map of where you're losing time. In a pack, lift off, oversteer, starts, trail break, I'm doing okay, but I read it. Yeah, I mean, racing in a pack's a bit of, it's difficult, but I would say that's much harder when you're at the lower levels. So don't do yourself a disservice on that. The reason trying to demo thing was interesting to have, but I need help fundamentals. Yeah, maybe. But don't beat yourself up over racing in a pack because it's much harder at the lower levels because people are far less predictable. When you get quicker, yeah, I mean you get this right. When you get quicker, there's less variance between people. So I know when I'm in a race of that kind of quality that nobody's going to brake like 20 meters too early for the corner, for example. Whereas, and 20 meters, 10 meters, 20 meters isn't in the lower plate. There's that level of variation between how somebody brakes for a hairpin and doesn't because they've just got two different different ways of braking to slightly different lines. Might not be that much difference in terms of time, but there's just a difference in approach to the corner. Whereas actually there's only one quickest way through the corner, and if everybody's doing very quick lap times, racing in the packs, you can get right up to the back of someone with a relative degree of comfort, which is why the higher splits look aesthetically better because people are able to do that. Whereas in the lower splits, you've basically almost got to like assume somebody's going to brake way too early, or hopefully try and make sure somebody's not right behind you and just going to smash into the back of you. You have to drive really defensively, basically. You probably know all of that, but it's worth saying. So like I'm not sure, it's difficult to get really good at racecraft until you can do quick lap times and your rating goes up. You almost have to accept the fact that you are going to have to give people space, let people overtake you sometimes when you think if somebody's going to throw it up the inside and when you're going right and somebody's pulled across but they're miles back, but you just know they're going to fucking send it. You're almost better just like braking, slow it down and let them toddle off. Either they make the corner and they go, or they just plow on and they go straight on and then cut in. You'll lose like 2 seconds, but you're still there. It's tough. It is tough, and some people do it on purpose, some people don't. It's just they think that's the way you should race, right? You should just be last of the late breakers all the time. Yeah, well, I don't know. It's what I did. I spent a lot of time driving very defensively for a long period of time and just trying to get my lap times down, almost like spending as much time practicing as possible, then throw in a decent qualifying, try and get somewhere out near the front, particularly in the lower splits. Like I never started from the pits. I was never one of those. I never start from the pits because I just think that's pointless, right? You're not learning racecraft. You're not learning anything. I mean, you might progress, I suppose, but like iRacing wise, if everybody crashes, but you're not learning anything. Just try and throw it as near the front of the grid as you can, and then drive really defensively for the first 2 laps. And if you lose a few positions, don't worry about it, and then race. B class, yeah. You see, I don't race much B class to be fair, apart from when I do race GT3s. I do the VRS. Not very good in GT3s. I don't know. I spent too much time racing this, so when I go to GT3s, like if I was to go to GT3 now with my iRating, which is what 3.6, whatever split I get in, probably second split or something, I get absolutely killed. I'd be last, guaranteed. I kind of almost like if I want to go and race GT3, I almost like need to give up F3 for a bit and go and practice. But then because I've got to where I've got to in F3, it's really difficult to do that because I enjoy the racing more in F3 now because I'm able to compete. If not, that's the exception. Perhaps. That was awesome. Yeah, Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel if you want to. So if you want to see some F3 races to try and sell it to you, go to YouTube and just type in. It's the same as my Twitch account, right? So it's just Matthew Greenhall. I've had some great F3 experiences just racing. You know, not necessarily being the best car, but it's a good one. There was a really good race that I had at Spa. Yeah, it is quality. Where's my? Hang on a second. Suzuka, Snetterton, Cork, Hungaroring. What race? That's Red Bull, AI, Imola. Car collect, get 3k. Videos. Top. This one. Can't find it then. Top class sim racing. How do I? What am I doing? No, I don't want that either. I want the right hand side. I knew what I was doing. It'd be dangerous, wouldn't it? Don't see that. It'd be dense. Right. In terms of racecraft, this is a pretty good one because put it there. It's probably better.
Sixth place.
Yeah, that's better, isn't it?
Laps. All right, Matt. Get ready.
Green flag, green flag.
Oh, that's annoying. There you go. Because this is these kind of races just got everything. It's just constant back and forth with like loads of different loads of decent standards drivers. But when you look at this, you look at who's at the front. You got 3K, 5K, 4K, 4K. I was 2.8 at this point.
Still there, hold your line. Clear on the left, left side.
You kind of know that everybody's just going to behave themselves and brake in the right places and do the right thing, so you can drive with relative confidence with guys on your inside like that. But yeah, the VRS thing and the telemetry is an interesting one. It's not cheap, right? It is a lot more money when you're paying for iRacing anyway, and then you've got to, on top of that, pay for some bloody telemetry stuff. But it is really good. It's not bad, but it will help you get quicker, faster. Yeah, I had that in the first year. It calms down now. It's like I pay $15, as it were,
Car on your left.
once a quarter. Like I typically just buy the new track. So I bought the Red Bull ring, then I bought the Hungaro ring. Before that it was Hockenheim, but that's 3 tracks in 9 months. And because I'm not really buying any more cars, it's kind of slowed down a bit. But yeah, it did cost quite a bit up front. But I don't know. It depends, right? Unfortunately, whether you like iRacing or not, it is the one place where it's got more people than any other sim, and it's got the participation. Therefore, it's got the high standard, and it's got the
Just keep hitting your marks. This
it's
is
got
looking good.
it's got the kind of racing that everybody wants,
Keep to the left.
particularly in the higher splits.
Still there.
Um,
Keep to the left. Clear on the right.
yeah, they do. Yeah, they when they I don't know if you know this, but when the server goes down for maintenance, which is not infrequent actually, it happens quite a bit. If you go onto iRacing at that point, so you can't race other people at that stage, but you can race any cars. Basically, you can test any in a test session. You can test any cars. So if you're thinking of getting a couple of cars, you should, and you're not sure, you might want to try them in. You might want to try them when the server goes down, because you can just. Don't know if you have to download them beforehand. Not sure, but if you look into it, it's not a bad way of trialing them out. But honestly, if you've got a GT3 car, you've got the F3 car. You can, you don't need much else, to be honest. Yeah, no worries, mate. Look into it as to how you do it, because when I run an update, I download everything. I don't just download required. I download everything, and I think that means that even the cars that I've not bought are on my hard drive. So when the server goes down, I can just race whatever the fuck I want, just to try it. So things like the the Dallara IR01, that ridiculous like Formula 1 type car that they've got, I've bought that now, although it's a bit of a dead series to be fair. But if you just wanted to have a hoon around in that for a couple of hours whilst the server goes down, have a go at it. Skip GT3. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good.
211.19.
I've got that. I've got a
That
few.
lap time was
I do
212,
race some NASCAR
46.
occasionally because I find it quite relaxing.
Car
Based on
right.
track. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Still there. Hold your line.
I've got the Mercedes AMG and the Ferrari, and I might get the Lambo just because I like Lambos, not because it's necessarily any good.
Still there.
Oh, I've got the LMP2 as well. That's the nuts. That's a great car, but it's quite different to drive. But it is very good. Yeah, problem is if you've got one GT3 car, it's like, how many do you need? Better off getting the LMP2, right? It's like something completely different.
Yellow flag.
I shred tyres. Yeah, I don't really know. I probably haven't experimented with enough of the GT3 cars. I've drove the Ferrari a lot because of the fixed Ferrari series when I started,
Yeah, just reversed into the track.
and then I felt like I should get a different GT3 car, and then got the Merc. Yeah, see, I need to try the Porsche stuff because that looks. Everybody says that's a really fun series, right? The Porsche Cup and just any sort of tricky car to handle. I don't have those yet. Yeah, no, the Ferrari's an all-round. I do it. I think that's why they do it in the fixed series, isn't it? Yeah, part of me really wants to try and get good at the GT3, but the problem is I just don't think. I don't know. Actually, you do see people,
Clear on the left.
some of the
Car
big
stopped
streamers
ahead.
who
Go
are
left. Go
really
left.
good at. They just
The
jump
next
from one
car's a
car
leader.
on one
Nice
track
runs.
to another car and like completely different car on a different track. They'll do open wheel and then GT3 and just go from one to the other and still get decent results. I've got a
The
decent
leader's
I rating,
pitting
but
now.
I'm very F3 focused.
Car right.
Like my I rating
Clear on
in
the right.
any other car would not be anywhere near as high.
Keep to the left.
GT3R Porsche in B
Clear.
class is
You're now
epic.
in
Keep it up.
third.
P3.
Car on your left. Still there. You're on the right. 3 wide.
Yeah.
Hold
I
your
think that's
line.
why I struggle.
Car on your left. 2 wide.
It just
there.
feels like a.
Clear.
I don't know. It just feels like you turn the wheel and it doesn't move. go thing, and like, I don't know, just the harder suspension. Obviously, it's not just feel a bit more connected to everything. But that's just me. I'm biased. This is because I know how the because I know how the F3 handles. So you race motorcycles? That's cool. Never really be able to sim that though, will you? Kind of need the G-force and the leaning. Nice. Made man. I've barely ridden a motorbike, let alone race one.
Okay, Matt. Don't let this guy distract you.
Trying to get that same high from sim racing as you can do from motorcycle racing, I'd imagine would be quite challenging. You need to get on full-on motion rig, wind simulator.
Massive run on
Don't
this
know.
guy.
Don't know what else you can do, man.
Car right.
Say VR, but I'm not sure about that. I've got
Keep to the
VR.
left.
I don't use it.
Keep to the left. Clear.
Get too hot.
Left side. Keep to the right. Still there.
Get high.
Still there.
Push in VR. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe get some of your mates to like
Still there.
put like on your shoulder, get you to sort of push you as
Really?
if you're going around the corners.
P4. The lap time was 2:12.88.
Still there. Hold your line.
Yeah, no, I just can't. I'd like to do a half an hour race in the hot. I'm in pieces, sweating my whatsits off. It's
Clear.
just so uncomfortable. I don't know, mate. I don't know. Maybe these people all have aircon in their house. I mean, I'm UK, right? So I don't have aircon because no house in the UK has air conditioning. I mean, it's cold, so normally you don't need it, but it's not cold enough. But the big monitor is just far more relaxing. It is slightly less immersive, but I mean, I don't know. I've got the super ultra wide, so it's immersive enough. You just don't quite get the same level of depth perception. Okay, there you go. So I don't know why you said when you were talking about the American stuff. I don't know why I then thought you were American, but clearly not. And the whole play on Richard being Dick, like that requires, as you say, some English humour. Right, I'm probably gonna head, mate. I need to get to bed. My wife will be wondering where I am. But that was good.
Car right.
Well, what's your
Still there. Hold your line. Clear.
well, drop me
Nice one, mate.
an email on iRacing if you like, and I'll add you to my followed people, so I'll just keep tabs on where you're at, how you're getting on, if you want, or just tell me your name now and I'll do it here, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to.
P5.
Christo knobs. Gee whiz.
Car right.
Oh, I'll fuck that
Still
up.
there. Still there. Hold your line. Still there. Hold your line. Clear.
Oh. Mate, you are new. 2nd of July. 2 or 3 off there. No race, I trust no one. Throw away resist all the time. That sounds like the absolute best strat. Right, you're on my studied list. Yeah. Hey, you've only done 26 races, mate. I mean, give yourself a break. Everybody's iRating does this to start with. Everyone's. It goes down, you work out what you're doing, then it goes up. Oh, what have I just done there? I've gone back. How did I do that? I don't know. Fair enough. You'll lose iRating, you'll lose some iRating doing that, but you'll learn quicker, and then hopefully you progress up from there. So that's fair enough. Look, everybody has the bounce at the dip at the start. Just a question of when you work out what you're supposed to be doing, and then how high you can go after that. It's very, very common. And I've done 296, so I've got a few more on yours. Yeah, it's not like motorcycles, no shit. No shit. Yeah, and less feel. So, fair play to you. Why am I still listening to that? Shut up. Yeah, take it easy. Have a good evening, mate. Speak later.